Hello, Sagittarius. Welcome to Dove and Serpent Tarot. My name is Paul. If Sagittarius is your sun, moon, or rising sign, this is your reading. Please hit the like button, leave a comment. Consider subscribing to the channel, especially if this reading resonates with you. It's totally free, doesn't cost you anything. If there's anything you would like me to pray over, or meditate upon, or send positive energy toward, please let me know. Now, this is going to be a general reading, so try to be open and receptive to whatever may come through during our time together. I am merely the messenger, and I ask you to connect directly with each of these cards. Use your own intuition to take you beyond the details that I might provide. And remember, Sagittarius, that the most important part of any tarot reading is you. And we start with the Hierophant. This is, feels to me like an institution, like a larger body, a larger group, maybe an organization or a company or, a publisher or a record company or something. I feel that is kind of like, I feel like a big presence. Let's put this into some context. Okay, let's see what's going on with here. This is some Taurus energy. I feel like there is a certain persistence in you right now. I feel like you really have been you've been really stubborn about something. You've been really persisting, trying to get something accomplished. And there, see, now we've got like that Princess of Swords energy where it's almost like we feel kind of really small compared to this big looming energy. Two of Swords, Emperor energy. Six of Swords. And a Queen of Cups, 10 of Swords, High Priestess, Tower energy, and Lust or Strength card. A lot of good major arcana energies. We see a lot of the Swords cards here, especially right down the center, right on the vertical axis of the path of the dove. We've got all Swords energy. Let's select the mystery card. This is one random card from the Smith-Waite Tarot that we will just set down right here. We're going to put Kevin, a.k.a. Mr. Bates, right there on top of that card, and we're not going to look at that card until the very end. But it will tie everything together, and it will give us the confirmation that we need. If at any point during the reading you feel like you know what that card is, I want you to put your prediction down in the comments. Let's do it together. Let's make it an interactive thing. Let's make it a group exercise in intuition. All right. Let's look around the room here. We've got major, 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 major. This is really cool. And really what this means is, should probably wait until we kind of, get there in our way of doing things. But you know what? We're not doing things the way we usually do. And I think that's part of what this Hierophant is talking about too, is that there's kind of this order, this process that you're supposed to go through. But I feel like you're kind of pushing the envelope. You're like testing the boundary a little bit, right? You're doing something a little bit out of the ordinary. And to me, with this idea of this organization, and I feel like you're almost submitting something to them, or you have some sort of a proposal or something that you're trying to push through to them. I feel like you're not going about it the traditional way or the right way, that you're doing things a little bit unique, right? You're breaking with the kind of the procedure a little bit, yeah? And that's what we're doing over here. So we're going to break with procedure, and we're going to talk about the path of the serpent. And even on the path of the serpent, we talk about that because we start with the 10 of Swords. We're breaking the mold here. We're going against what is kind of the traditional way. We're stepping outside of this pre-structure, this preordained boundary of things. And it's almost like now you're doing everything that you can. You're doing this kind of this innovative thing, or you're circumventing the established procedure or process for something, and then you're just leaving it up to spirit, right? You're saying, I'm doing everything that I can. It's like I've already broken the rules, and now it's in spirits. It's in God's hands now, right? And that's what I'm seeing with here with the 10 of Swords and then Major Arcana, Major Arcana, Major Arcana. And the ending here, this is really good. Now, we're going to go through a lot of stages in this, right? Because what we do first is you throw the Hail Mary, right? You step outside of the boundaries. You break the rules. You do this thing that is not according to procedure. And then we pray, right? High Priestess. Then we're just like, please, 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 please. We have that fear. It seems like, oh God, I've thrown it too short or too long, or the wind took it, and it's going to crash and burn. And we start to really our heart sinks, and we think it's a failure. It's gone. I've lost it. And we think the movie's over, right? But then, dun, 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 you hear the music, and the receiver catches the ball and reaches the end zone, and and then someone has to maybe shake you and say, hey, look, because you're already head in hands, grieving, but then it's a success. And I think that whatever you're doing is a creative project. Now we're gonna go back to the beginning here and talk about that Hierophant and this other energy here. I think what you're doing is a creative thing. I think that you're trying to really establish this connection or this communication or this link with this larger group. And it feels like maybe a publishing company or a record company or something like maybe you're trying to get something published or get a product kind of out into the stores or distributed kind of thing. You have this idea and this plan. You have this kind of this breakthrough thing, whether it's a product or an artistic thing or an invention or an idea or a script maybe, right? And you're trying to push it. You're trying to kind of it's like you're trying to somehow get it into the hands of like the head of YouTube, right? Or like the top person at Google, and it's just. And that once they saw it, they would fall in love with it, right? So let's look around at the energies one time. We got our mystery card there. I'm kind of doing things backwards today. We don't have any overt fire cards, but this is fiery, 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 fiery. So there's a lot of creativity, a lot of ambition, a lot of excitement, a lot of rage almost, but in a very kind of positive, powerful way. We don't see very much water energy except in the future. In the future, really, this is the Queen of Cups. I think in the future, this is going to be like bliss. This is double water on water. And this is going to be the range of emotions that you're going to feel, but this is going to be just that kind of like you win the Super Bowl, right? Or you win the World Cup, and you go through all of these emotions. There's relief, there's fear, there's jubilee and this euphoric feeling. There's also like gratitude, right? We're crying tears of joy and gratitude and love and this disbelief, and there's all sorts of things, right? So whatever it is that you're doing, it almost doesn't matter what it is, but just the fact that it's happening. The fact that you've made this connection, that we've established the communication and open up this dialogue, and now it's like now the work can really begin. But it's just like it's such a relief to having won this part of the battle. Yeah. And I think that it's going to be a very emotional time for you, and it's really it's hard for me not to smile looking at some of this energy. Let's see. There is a particular person in your life that I think really has been a strong influence on you. And it may be a departed loved one. It may be a father-type figure or an older kind of mentor. It could be a father, grandfather. It could be an older sibling. It could be like an old boss that you had. It maybe even is like a teacher or a professor that you had that was very important to you, very, I don't know that there was a personal relationship necessarily, but they were a strong influence on you. They really left their mark. Yeah. And they left this mark of, it kind of like they taught you to know the rules, but know how to bend them, know how to circumvent them, right? That if we all just kind of follow the procedures and we do things all the same way with that kind of conformity, Nothing would stand out. It's only those things that kind of that go against the grain that we really take notice of. And so I think that you had someone in your life that was kind of like that for you, and someone in your spirit's showing me a sweet tooth, right? Like just like a lump of sugar in the mouth. Someone in your life has a real sweet tooth. I'm also seeing fingernails. I don't know what's the connection with fingernails with you. If that there's something either something unique about your fingernails, or if you have like the prominent moons, as I do, or if there's something else going on with the fingernails. Okay. Sometimes these details come through just as a way of connecting with the energy, of validating the energy that we're in during the reading. All right. Let's look at the Emperor in the past position here. This is not only your motivation. I think that this is the connection with an older father figure kind of energy, or an idol, or like a mentor, maybe the teacher or professor, somebody that was a very kind of powerful presence in your life, when you were younger. But this is also, I think, the commitment that you have to what you're doing, or the sense of authority even that you have with this. This is the sense of, I was going to say belief in yourself, but it's not even really the belief. This is just kind of like, this is the way it's going to work. This is what's going to happen. There's a certain authority here with you. And I think that this is obviously why you feel you can skirt the rules, that you can kind of do something, that you can bypass all the intermediaries and go straight to the top, right? With this information, with this idea, with this invention, you're taking it straight to the head of Apple or whatever, and this is going to be the next big thing, or this great innovation. And you don't have any doubts. You have this really intense confidence in yourself, and I think that this is inspiring, and this is motivating. And I don't know what this was, in terms of a past event, if there was some sort of an event or a moment in time, let's say. I'm feeling kind of like a moment in time where you had this realization that this is like that moment when you realize what you had, where you're doing this work, you're making these things, you're doing the research or whatever, and that's that moment where you're like, it finally hits you how important this is. Yeah. How just like absolutely intense what you have is and is going to be. And then, of course, we've got this air energy here, which is really the different stages of us trying to figure out, how to get this thing where it needs to go. Okay, how to get this idea, this plan from within you, I guess. In some ways, how to get it from just being something that you're holding within you, and how to really get it kind of properly researched and properly presented and fleshed out and written out into a business plan or a thesis or the final book or the outline or whatever it might be, the proposal. Okay, how to get this in a finished copy that you can present to people. Okay, because what we see with the Two of Swords down here, this is still something that's kind of we're not. It's still undeveloped, right? It's a Two of Swords. It's not a 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. It's still a 2. It's still very, very young in its life. It's very much still an idea form. Okay, very close to just being just a feeling that you have. Okay, spirit showing me a fishing. Someone fishing. I don't know if you maybe this is an invention for fishing. I don't know. But again, these details come in just to kind of confirm things. And I'm still connecting with this older male energy in your life. And maybe it is a father figure or grandfather, and maybe the fishing is kind of one of the memories that you have with them. But somebody close to you probably still really likes to fish. Anyway, that has nothing to do with this air energy. The Princess of Swords here, I think this is the way that we've tried to approach the authority, the institution, the company or whatever, the publisher, etc., through the traditional means. Yeah, and we didn't get anywhere, right? Nothing really seemed to work. We tried they found on the website there was an email or whatever, or you're supposed to put it in an envelope and mail it somewhere. You did all that stuff and nothing. So I feel like there's a persistence, you know. I feel like that you've called them enough times, or you kind of you went and set up a meeting or an appointment or something. You kind of did things outside of that traditional way and got their attention. And now they're listening, right? And so now it's kind of, now you're able to present this thing to whomever, and, you know, it's kind of, now we've tossed the football, Hail Mary, now it's in God's hands, right? Let's go to the path of the serpent. And as we do this, I'd like to ask for your subscription. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do, totally free. It doesn't cost you anything. But leave a comment for me. Let me know where in the world you're watching from. Okay? Let's go back to the path of the serpent now. And we talked about the 10 of swords. Yeah. And to me, that's really like this feeling of we've done everything we could. And you're one that has studied and learned the rules. You kind of know about the industry, you know about the business, and you know that you have to have that je ne sais quoi, that something else, right? That I don't know what, that no one else has, right? There has to be something that makes you stand out. And I feel like that's kind of how you've gone beyond the limit of the traditional communication, right? We're kind of outside the bounds of the sword's energy. Okay, so you've tossed the Hail Mary. You've done everything that you could, and it's kind of like now it's in their hands. So I see you're kind of like you're just sitting at home, like with your dog. Do you have a family dog? I kind of see you there, just cuddling with the dog, waiting to hear the word, right? Just kind of just trying to distract yourself almost, trying to do something else while you wait for them to make a decision. Yeah, and it feels like something creative or inventive. It feels like maybe it's art or music or a book or a business plan, or maybe it could be that you've submitted an application to get a loan, or you've applied for a job, but there's something that had to make you stand out. Yeah. But now, High Priestess, now we're just kind of, we're praying, you know. I mean, literally, I think we're sitting with the dog and we're just like, just hoping for the best, you know. I think some of you have a deer as a sacred animal, or as like a spirit animal or a totem animal. I see a deer with just a very majestic kind of looking, and it's one of those, there are deers everywhere. But this is one of those deer that have the extraordinary antlers, you know, and there's just something special and something majestic about this deer. Maybe you have deer art or a statue or something of a deer, or maybe there are deer where you live, but there is a strong connection with that animal in you. Okay. Moving on to the Tower card. This really, to me, the Tower card is this feeling like it isn't working. It's like, you know, we tell ourselves, okay, if they don't call by 5 o'clock, then I know they're saying no. You know, and sometimes we have these little rules for ourselves, or we give these ultimatums to the universe. It's like, you either strike me down with lightning now, or I'm going to say that you're giving me permission. And it was kind of like, if they don't call me by 5 o'clock, then I know it has failed. And we do that to try to I don't know if it's to try to influence the universe or assert our will or something like that, or to give us some kind of a sense of finalizing something, right? But I feel like 5 o'clock comes and nothing, right? And that to me is a devastating kind of tower moment where we feel like we're kind of losing our temper. I don't know if you have the problem with the temper, but somebody's known for their temper in your life there. And I feel like this is that rage, right? This is that lamentation when 5 o'clock comes and goes and nothing. And maybe days even go by and nothing. Don't despair. Don't go smashing everything, right? You can't give ultimatums to the universe. It doesn't work that way. And in fact, I think when we do that, then Spirit says, yeah, I'll make you wait. If that's how it's going to be, you can wait a week or two, right? But I feel like a week or two, beyond that deadline that you set personally, 5 o'clock, if they don't call me by 5, then they're not calling. If I don't get a letter by Monday, then that's it. Let 5 o'clock come and go. Wait a couple more weeks, all right? Because what's coming next is that lust or strength energy. Now, this is the courage that you're going to have to really to do this work now. This is the discipline that you're going to need to follow through with this whole plan. This is you with the creative control. This is everybody kind of looking at you now and saying, okay, what is this big project? Like it's kind of like you finally do get that phone call and then they say, all right, well, come show us. And now it's like, oh man, now you've really got to perform, right? Now you've got to go in there and wow them with your magic. And I think you will. I don't think that's an issue at all, but this is kind of like you get the call, you've got to answer the call, you've got to show up, you've got to do all the things that come next, right? All the things that come next. Let's look at the mystery card. Let's see what is coming next with this. This is going to be an interesting one. I wonder if this person, if we're talking about an older fatherly figure, I feel like there's something to do with the heart. That maybe if they have passed, maybe it was a heart thing. Anyway, mystery card. What? Obviously, I think we need some earth energy, right? We need a 3 of Pentacles. But I think if we get even an 8, 9, 10 of Pentacles, we're going to be all right. We need at least a 3, because a 3 would be understanding the process of creation on the physical plane, understanding what we need to do, how we need to do it, why, where, and with whom we need to do it to make this thing a reality, to create this future, to create this best life, to manifest this dream. Yeah. So I feel like it needs to be a 3. A 3 of Cups would be okay too, but I feel like we need the practical kind of getting down and dirty and getting our hands dirty and really building this thing, really doing the work. It's like you get the record deal, now you got to go make the records, If you have a prediction, put it down in the comments. Let's just look at it. Well, 3 of Wands. Interesting. This is a 3, so that's good. It's an understanding the process of creation on the spiritual creative planes, right? So maybe now we're understanding how to create the creativity. Now this is kind of the card that says, you have this idea, now you have to understand how to do it, how to turn it on, So if you are this creative, this artist, this performer, you have to understand that it's going to just be like, okay, showtime. Let's see what you got. You got to be able to turn it on at will, your creativity. Yeah. So I think that's kind of what this card is, that we have all of this energy. Now you've got to learn how to activate it when they say it's time to go. It's time to do it. Push you out on stage, you got to be able to turn it on, baby. You know? And I think that's what this card is. So I was right about the 3. I wasn't too far off. And I think that this, has to kind of be, this is the first stage, and then maybe the water, and then maybe the earth, ultimately, right? Because if we think about the 3s, we're understanding the process of creation all the way from the spiritual plane, right? And then we've got the emotional plane, we've got the intellectual plane, mental plane, then we've got the physical plane. And we've got to start with understanding the process on that highest level. We got to turn it on first. Once you turn it on, then we start feeling it. We start feeling the creative juices, right? The water's flowing. And then we've got the mental plane. We got to get over the stage fright, And then we've got the actual performance on the earth plane. It has to start with that electrical switch. We got to turn it on first. Yeah. I like this very, very much for you. This is going to be fantastic. We're going to do an extended reading as well. If you want to stick around, click on the link in the corner, or there's one down in the video description. Okay. New readings for Sagittarius every Wednesday and Sunday, but I'm here every day, 6 a.m. Chicago time. Come on back. See me again tomorrow. Yeah. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's totally free. Doesn't cost you anything. Leave me a comment. Let me know how you're doing. I want you to know that you're the most important part of Dove and Serpent Tarot. I thank you and I love you. And we're all in this together.